system.
Okay, so this truth that was revealed to our founding fathers as they were writing this document, we have really stepped away from that. Um, and we're not making decisions on the truths of God's word. As a nation, we're obviously reaping what past generations have been sowing for years. Recently, I discovered a new principle, an amazing principle from the Bible for electing leaders. Let's take a look at it. In Deuteronomy 17, God says, "When you enter the land of the Lord your God has given you, and you have taken possession of it and settled in, you say, let us set a king over excuse me, let us set a king over us like all the other nations around us. Be sure to appoint over you the king the Lord your God chooses. He must be from among your brothers. Do not place a foreigner over you, one who is not a brother Israelite." And he goes on in verse 18. He says, "When he takes the throne of his kingdom, he is to write for himself on a scroll a copy of this law, taken from that of the priests who are Levites. It is to be with him. He is to read it in all the days of his life, so that he may learn to revere the Lord his God and to follow carefully all the words of this law and these decrees, and not to consider himself better than his brothers and turn from the law to the right or to the left. Then after he does all this, then he and his descendants will reign a long time over the kingdom in Israel." God lays out an outline of how rulers should rule and how important it is in order for you to remain in a position of leadership that you must maintain prominent Christian principles in your life. So things would be very different if our elected leaders today were to take this to heart and believe this and practice this principle. So, guys, what's your opinion of how America has lost its way today?
Well, I would start by saying that I think we've lost our way similar to what happened in the Garden of Eden. Here we had a bountiful, Adam and Eve had everything they could ever want. And America for the last several years has had just about everything we wanted. I mean, we had a great economy. We had, technology that was expanding, businesses expanding. But I think what happened, we started thinking that we were doing that, and it was us people, not God, doing that for us. And as it was in the Garden of Eden, they decided to try to be like God, or they were going to be as smart as God, or they were going to be just like God. And I think sometimes we've gotten into that thought process that it's all of us, it's my hard work doing what we're getting, and that's not the way it is. And when we start becoming selfish to ourselves, when we start becoming a community or a society that says I deserve that because I'm me, I think we've missed the boat. And I think that's when the challenges started many years ago, when we started thinking that it was our doing and not God's doing that was providing this bountiful society for us. And what has happened now, we see it in government. We see our elected leaders more concerned about themselves and what it can do for them than they are concerned about their general citizen out there. And once we get to that point, then I think we're going to pay the price for that, and I think we're starting to see the price that we're paying for it. It just depends on how far we're going to go until we wake up and come back. But I do also think that Christian people, conservative people, are starting to pay attention. They've realized what's happening, and I think over the next couple years we will see a tremendous shift back to a very conservative Christian country. And I think when we do that, we're going to see a very prosperous country again. And that has to happen for us to be prosperous. We have to put God back in the center, and then God will take care of it, not us.